Hi, I got a new tarot deck. It's the Wandering Spirit Tarot, and I thought I'd give it another go. I did do a reading yesterday, but I'm going to do one for YouTube now. It says, sometimes even the darkness and sadness comfort us. Taking the form of a skeleton and a girl as symbols of depression and empathy, this tarot card deck was created to provide you with comfort even in the hardest of times. Henuli Shin, Haenuli, Henuli Shin is an artist most known for her Skeleton and Girl series, starting with the book Their Story, Story You Don't Know, taking these two characters and adapting them to the form and meaning of tarot. Henuli aims at giving a source of comfort during the trying times of life. So let's get started. I have already saged them and the space. I just put them back in the box so I could read the box to you. It's just gone Equinox, Vernal Equinox, and we're coming up to a full moon lunar eclipse in a couple of days. Today's the 23rd of March 2024, but the reading is for anyone who finds it whenever you find it, and if it doesn't resonate, then it's not for you. Okay. They don't want to come back up. Going to intuitively feel the cards. The first card is the Seven of Swords. You are walking away from something that has been quite stressful, quite traumatic, something that has done much damage to you and to others and to everyone. And your main focus has been to get away to cause less damage, so that you're not adding to the damage, not adding to the pain, not adding to the hurt, not adding to the trauma for any of those involved. Hence why you've picked up all of the swords and you're running away with the swords. Now, swords obviously is all about your thoughts, your mentality, and air elements. So it's most of this pain and trauma and damage has actually been more in your thoughts than it has been in actuality. Obviously, our thoughts rule our actions, and if we're not well in our mind, then our thoughts can domino effect into the abyss and cause more damage than intended, can cause a lot of obsessions or compulsions, can cause a lot of mental health issues, can cause a lot of depression, can cause a lot of misunderstandings. All of these things can come out of the mind and out of our thoughts, like they say. It's not always the act that causes the suffering. It's the thoughts and the story that we wrap around the event that causes the suffering. And that's what this card means. So it's meaning basically that your suffering is almost over. or at least you're finding a way to reduce the suffering, and you're learning that like it's in your mind a lot of the time. That doesn't mean it's in your head. That's a totally different thing. I mean, this is the thoughts that you attach to the events that are painful are only causing more suffering. That's what I mean. And this card is saying that you have decided to pick up these threads. So there's 2 left behind. So you picked up 5 swords. That's 5 thoughts or 5 attachments, story attachments that you've decided not working, running away with those, and like you're going to let them go. You're going to toss them because you're not going to keep running with them in your hands. You're not going to spend the rest of your life with those 5 swords in your hand running around. So like it's you walking away, leaving something behind that's painful, taking the most painful elements with you to go and heal. So you're taking those, maybe you even feel that those are your responsibility. Maybe you feel that those 5 swords were actually the things that you feel you did wrong, and then you're taking them away from the situation, and you're going to deal with them, you're going to face them, you're going to heal them, and you're going to let them go, and you're going to bury them. You're going to, not bury them as in they didn't exist, but give them back to the universe, like refresh yourself, refresh the situation. So that's what I see with that one. Okay, just make sure that you're seeing the cards. Yes. The next one is the devil. Oh, goodness me. Okay, temptation. So you have just walked away from a situation that was not good, was not in your highest good, was not in the highest good of all, was damaging in some way or form, and that you knew what elements were damaging. And as I've said, you've run away with them to deal with them, to face them, to heal them. But then there's a temptation directly after. Now, quite often after a traumatic event, we can be vulnerable. We can be seeking something to make us forget the past. So we jump straight into something without really looking. Something I'm highly not like, I have to say personally. But the majority of people will jump straight into something else to try and hide it, or else they're so vulnerable that temptation comes in, like someone can see your vulnerability and then take advantage of that, or manipulate you into a situation because you're easily talked around. It could be perhaps this is pertaining to a relationship, and that you are then tempted to go back to it regardless of the amount of swords that you ran away with, knowing that it was no good for you. Perhaps you will be tempted to go back. I cannot tell you to go either or. That choice is yours. We all have our own autonomy. We all have our own choices. We all have our own destiny. And we all have our own karma. This could be karma coming back to bite you in the bum. Maybe the 5 swords was that you had done more damage than the other parties. It really depends on how you look at things, like how you perceive things and how you process it in your mind, and then do the actions the healthiest for all those involved. Okay, so the other point with the devil is that sometimes we can feel addicted. Okay, it also can represent addiction, like being entrapped, being obsessed, being addicted, or being connected to something that you have a trauma bond, or connected to somebody like via lust or desire, and then that is obviously like unhealthy. I mean, those things can come into our lives in a healthy fashion as well, to a degree. We can get addicted to health food, for example, or addicted to exercise, for example, or we can be sex positive but not promiscuous, that sort of thing. But the other point with the devil is that where you do have these attachments, they're not always fully ingrained. Like on most decks of the devil card, you will see the chains around the two individuals' necks that the devil is holding the chains to, but the chains around the neck are easily removed. There's enough gap and enough space for you to actually just unclick it or to lift it up over your head, so you are never fully trapped. You are never fully addicted. Addictions can be healed. Like being trapped, you can get away. Like again, it all relates to your mind. It all relates to how you perceive, what you think, what you believe, and sometimes those are self-limiting beliefs. And then we have the Nine of Wands, which is actually quite incredible. Like this is kind of taking us away. Then we're delving into whatever troubles were the instigator or the like behind the scenes or underlaying with this card was to do with facing the devils, facing your addictions, facing attachment styles, facing anything that like was not in your highest good or the highest good for all. And then we've got the Nine of Wands. The nines kind of like is where things are coming to an end. It's where you've almost reached the finish line, which would be with the tens. And the Wands is fire. So this is where you have now taken action. You have started the action in your thoughts there. You're doing the runaway. You're then dealing with whatever the issue is, which is the devil card. And now you're taking positive action. Like with fire, you're invoking your best life. You're invoking the healthy way forward. You're standing your ground and standing up for yourself. You're beginning to truly know yourself, to know your flaws, to know your positives and your gifts, to know that you are not fundamentally a bad person, even if you have found yourself doing things that would be societally viewed as bad. Again, getting back to addictions or sex positive people or people that like jump from one relationship to another, or that find themselves unable to kind of face what they're going through without some external distraction. So this is where you actually are all just you on your own, your inner self represented by the skeleton. This is your inner core. This is your inner self. This is your external self, but also your higher self, who has now got the hand on the wand, so ready to take action. See how the inner self is like, yes, I'm going to take the bull by the horns. I'm going to grab onto my reins of my destiny. My life is my life. I'm in control of my life. I'm in control of my feelings, in control of my actions, in control of my words, in control of my thoughts, my beliefs. I'm open to growth. And like all of these statements come out with this card. So at the end of the day, you are going to get through whatever struggles you're going through. You will have to walk away from something. You will have to then face the fallout and the debris and the pieces that have fallen. Like, you will have to shed part of yourself. You will then have to face your own addictions, your own compulsions, your own obsessions, your own attachments. You will have to face temptation, and then you will come out the other side whereby you will be stronger, have more wisdom, have more knowledge of thyself, and will have the energy and the foresight of how to take the most healthy step forward. Okay, so I hope that resonates with you. Thank you very much.